I
was okay to reply this.
no, it's fine. I came prepared.
Swain, good day.
You waiting on me? You can start now if you'd like.
Julie.
We're almost there. Almost there.
We're in no hurry. Not even 10 after.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. All right. Good day, all. Glad you all could make it out through this nice cheerful weather we're having right now. And with that, Julie, would
Okay.
you please lead us in prayer and pledge and our way test, please.
As we gather today at our club meeting, we do so in fellowship and gratitude, yet also with awareness that many around the world are facing deep uncertainties. The ongoing crisis involving Iran reminds us how fragile peace can be and how quickly families' lives can be disrupted. We pause to hold in our thoughts the civilians seeking safety, the families waiting anxiously at home, and the military men and women serving in harm's way. May they be protected, and wisdom and restraint guide the years towards peace. Rotary has long understood that peace is not passive. It is built through dialogue, understanding, service, and integrity. Through our work in this community and Rotary's global peace initiatives, we contribute in meaningful ways to a stable and compassionate world. Let's begin today's meeting, being thankful for our fellowship and recommitted to being leaders who model goodwill and help build peace, starting right here. And this personally affects me because my niece and my great nieces are in Dubai and the missiles are going ahead and the anti-missiles. So I'm very thankful to the country of UAE and Dubai because of their anti-missile systems, because they are simple. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test, think, say, and do. First.
Is it true?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial for all concerned?
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Play ball.
Anything you want to update us on, Julie?
No.
No? Okay. Sean.
Marcus, how are you?
Outstanding.
Wait for one sign in here, but I'm gonna tell you that we are doing really good right now. I'm delaying a little bit. Okay. All right,
You're good, Kara.
all right. We've got, we're lucky to have with us Paula McTeague, who's been one of our citizens of the year. Welcome back, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
One more these days with Paula. I know you're busy visiting and helping people out. I know that.
Just the same thing, trying to represent well. I'm just here to support my friend Isaac. I think the last time we were at a Rotary meeting together was when he came to support me when I was Citizen of the Year. So it's been a joy watching him just bloom.
Good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Diana Nicely. Diana, welcome. What do you do, Diana?
I'm a cosmetologist. I've been a salon owner for the last 12 years in the city of Florence. I am the big green building that sits on the corner of Main and Girard, Double Take Salon. And then we've got numerous small businesses that are there at the space too, growing.
Great. Welcome.
Thanks.
Cool. And no introduction needed, but Ryan Beal. Ryan Beal is with us today. Ryan.
Hi, guys. I am Ryan Beal with Heritage Bank. I work with Dave, Ian, and Peter as a commercial lender. If you're out and about, we are renovating the Florence office. That's where I sit next to Stiff Funeral Home, and it's really looking nice. It's needed an upgrade.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ryan. If you're sitting there next to Stiff, you might not want to sit too long. You might want to get up and make sure you're moving around. Yeah. We'll have Come over and talk to you. Stacy Thornberry, Stacy, welcome. Tell us what's going on.
I'm Stacey Thornberry. I am Home Watch Caregivers of Northern Kentucky. We employ about 80 to 100 caregivers. So we have a big influx here in Florence, and then I'm getting ready to open up another company called Elevate Aging and Wellness Center. So we're going to be celebrating aging. We're going to do a lot of dementia training, things like that, but it's going to be just zero focused in on those types of things. So balance exercises, things like that for seniors, kind of celebrate getting.
Great. Well, right. Very good. Hair's changing color. Or full. There you go. I still have some. And the last person to sign in, I'm sorry, we can't read that. Tell me who you are and what you're doing.
All right, I'm Kara Rickler-Coons. I'm actually Kate's cousin here. I am the publisher of Oakland Living as well as the Hills Preston Springs Living. I am trying to grow this publication and meet with small businesses in Florence that have the community at their heart, well established, and want to connect a little bit more. I have a lot of events in town. Kentucky County Connects. Would like to do a Boone County Connects this year with some partners. I think that's about it.
Great. Welcome. Welcome. Sports was pretty good this weekend. Yeah. Cats rebounded against Vanderbilt.
You never know what you're going to do.
No, you don't. The Bearcats won, Xavier won, everything. The big, I don't know how the North did, but the tournament starts this week. And the shocker news of the day is that the Bengals re-signed Dalton Reisman, the guard, who everybody said that they'd be too cheap, but they wouldn't do that. So they did it. Maybe they're turning over a new leaf.
Maybe.
You gotta have hope. Always have hope. There you go. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. I currently have a copy of your magazine on my desk. I live in Villa Hills, so
Oh,
just got that on Friday. All right, well, we're doing okay with this.
We're doing okay, but we could do better.
You'd always do that. Let there be no doubt about that. All right.
We have a video.
Who's that? Who's that? Yeah.
That handsome lad.
Oh, we're gonna hear from him.
Rotarians of the Florence Rotary Club. I'm here to talk to you about one of our most successful fundraisers, our clay pigeons. You know, service above self is our motto. It's also our motivation. Everything we do is to make life better, easier, more successful for somebody else. That's what this clay pigeon shoot does. Sometimes service means just being there. Sometimes it's getting your hands there. Sometimes you gotta really fund it. Well done. That's what we're gonna do on June 20th at the Gates Lloyd Wildlife Management Area. They've got a beautiful setup, very safe, it's very efficient, it's very professional. Even if our shooting doesn't quite meet those professional standards. We'd love to have you there. It's $100 to come shoot. We'd like sponsors to pay $500. That gets you a group of 4. The money, all this year, all the money raised is going to support Sunrise of Hope so that we can provide temporary housing for young people that don't have a place to sleep tonight. So come help me blast away to teen homes.
Right.
So Steve Ellis put that together.
Very own Steve.
Who's Curtin? Where's Curtin then? Curtin, Kentucky.
Oh,
75 south, you get off Nickerson exit, you make a left, go right on Dixie.
I spelled it.
Hop down.
She's teasing me.
I'm teasing her because it's spelled wrong.
Uh,
CIR.
Oh, well.
Amongst friends.
There we go.
Okay, so our scholarship applications are due March 13th. That's Friday. So if you have or know someone that is interested in getting a scholarship from us. We award about 5 of them a year, so please take interest in that. Then we got a bunch of volunteer stuff. Some of it is with Julie, some of it's with Matt. They basically doing, for Matt, it's exit interviews of seniors, even though you call defensive learning, confusion on that is just the old exit interview. So there's opportunity there. Please consider it. Julie, you wanna add anything?
Yeah, this week, something new that cropped up this weekend was at Stevens Elementary. They're looking for readers for Read Across America. So that's tomorrow and Wednesday.
Got it.
And it's only 20 minutes.
Perfect. Paul?
Yeah, the fishing outing of the kids from the children's home. It's going to be May the 9th at New Day Ranch in Verona. So that's when you head out towards Verona proper, you've got the grade school there to cross the street from that. And
Instead of turning right on the point.
correct, like Greg lives over on the one side.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, but Beth Long is the CEO, manager, whatever we call it.
She used to belong here.
Yeah. So should be pretty nice.
Yeah. It's always a good time. Hopefully it won't be as hot as it was last year. All right, Matt, you want to make a comment on this, or Julie?
Yes, sure, I will. The Boone County Education Foundation is a fundraising arm, if you will, for the school district. What they do is raise money, and then they give that money out to teachers that have submitted an application for some special projects they're doing in the classroom with their children. So it's a benefit to our teachers, and then ultimately benefits the students through their work, being very creative with projects. So this is their big fundraiser for that. I hope we have a few of us that attend that event, because we are going to be working side by side with them to try to create a new fundraiser that would benefit both organizations, where we can pool all of our resources between the Education Foundation and the Rotary Club. It'd be a great partnership to try to build a new fundraiser to benefit both of our organizations.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. And we're still doing our hours pretty good.
Yeah.
And once again, if you can register yourself and put in your hours, but if you don't feel like doing that, Jim has indicated that he will gladly input your information, and Jim Ferguson sends out a monthly email to remind you all that if you want to participate through him, just reply to that email. And we are having the district conference will be at the Radisson in Covington, that our very own Greg Palmer as district governor will be running. Once again, I know I have said this before, but that Brian Hall is an extremely interesting speaker. I heard him at Pets last year. So we'll be asked to do there. And what this is also asking for is Greg would really like to have some people, if you know of a business that would like to advertise and support the conference, he certainly would enjoy taking your money. So keep that in mind as well. We as a club are supporting him financially, and also will be doing so with personnel as well.
That's the sponsorship levels for the company.
Okay. So there you go. Any announcements? Barb?
I put one of these on each table, but the Kiwanis Club is doing a bunny brunch and egg hunt on March 21st.
Susan's birthday.
Yes.
Oh, that is true. Birthday. But anyway, it supports New Day Ranch, which we have supported over the years as well. So you guys can gather up your grands or great grands or whatever and go down there. It's really nice. I usually run the kitchen that day, but I will be babysitting. I have a Nana babysitting job in Hawaii.
Oh,
that
yeah.
week. I wanted to tell you all about it.
Do you need a assist from a grandpa?
Yeah. Oh, Pop-Pop's going with
Oh,
me.
well, I'm sure he.
And Green Band is going on.
Yeah,
There'll be three of
I'm
us.
there to help. I'm there.
Yes.
Anything else? Don't forget about the
Yeah.
softly used shoes that can be used in a job interview. I know we have a few that were brought in, but next Monday will be the last time we'll be able to gather that up. Matt will be taking that down to Chattanooga for the overall pets conference. And he will be doing that for us. So once again, thank you, Matt, and thank you for sending out that email. That was appreciative.
Specific for job interviews?
That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, they're asking
Okay.
frequently used, yeah, job interviews
Okay.
is like the ultimate goal was
Okay.
to make sure to provide those for.
Perfect. Got it.
No birthdays this week, but Jim. 14 years. Nicely done, buddy. I wish you were here so we could congratulate you. All right, happy dollars. I got two. George. One happy dollar is for all of us that have a daughter. Thank them, praise them, and thank God that you have them. So for daughters. It's a daughter. And tomorrow is March 3rd. And you're going, so what? Well, March 3rd is 3-3. And I was in 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines. So
There you go.
several five. All right, I think we're done, Jordan.
I have a dollar in my pocket. I'm happy.
There you go. Julie, I'm assuming this is you.
Yep.
The floor is yours.
Awesome.
So for me, today's program is a special one. Because I have seen this young man growing up, and what I love about him is his commitment to community. Whenever Paul and I, when he first got started, invited him to different events and say, hey, you should support this or sponsor this, he was right there. But what I also love is he has a vision of building a healthy community for us all to be healthy. And everybody who had a bowl today, did you enjoy it? It was pretty tasty, wasn't it? There's also the blends at the stores, which I love, and my favorite flavor. Do you remember what it is? There's two possibilities, but
Pineapple Dole Whip, which it was not what it was called when it first started.
correct.
And your second one is,
It's the blueberry cake donut.
oh, I don't know. You were pineapple heavy though.
I was,
Yeah.
and he did a pina colada this past summer.
It's coming back.
Oh, thank goodness. I go broke on this, but the blueberry cake donut, you know how many calories are in a blueberry cake donut? There's like, I don't know, 500-600 calories. You can have a blunt that tastes like a blueberry cake. I don't know how you do this, Isaac. For 200 calories, and that fills you up, so. If you haven't had a blunt, go have a blunt. But what started as an idea inspired by fueling athletic performance by playing rugby at the University of Kentucky, and has grown into something remarkable. Today, Better Blend has expanded into 18 locations, counting, built on a foundation of discipline, clean ingredients, job creation, and a genuine desire to serve people well and to treat his employees well. Along the way, he has earned recognition, including being named to Forbes 30 under 20 class of 2024. But he has never lost sight of where it all began, here in Florence, Kentucky. So I introduced my friend, Isaac.
All right. Good morning. How many of you haven't had Better Blend before today? I've heard about it before this meeting. That's done a pretty good job marketing then. Okay, good. All right, so I will kind of take you behind the scenes of where Better Blood started, where we were kind of in 2017 as we moved into 2018, and then what we've done for the last 8 years, basically, and where we're going. There's a lot of things, a lot of golden nuggets in there that I don't share with a ton of people, but I'd love to speak about it because hopefully I can provide some value and perspective to you, or maybe you're just curious about how this all came to be, and I can answer some of those questions. Sound fair?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start from the beginning. Better Blend was an idea that came to me when I was a senior at the University of Kentucky, like Julie said. I was starting my senior season and I was a pretty good rugby player. Like I was big and fast and strong, but there was something missing in my game and I realized that it was my nutrition. If you guys don't know what rugby is, it's a really weird sport. It's like a mix between soccer and football. It's like football with no pads on. And anyway, we used to have our pregame meals and it used to be like Chipotle, spaghetti and meatballs, chopped mashed potatoes, whatever it might be. And for some people that was fine, but for me, it really weighed on me. So I was like, the thing that's missing in my game is the nutrition. What can I do to get everything that I need into my bloodstream in the most efficient way possible, like all the nutrients that I need. So I started looking at smoothies because, it's blended down, it gets right to your system, it's broken down, digested quickly. But what you might not know about most smoothies is most smoothies are not healthy for you. Like they're marketed as healthy, but you have to check your nutrition facts. They're going to be really, really high in sugars, really, really high in calories, not a lot of macronutrients and micronutrients that are going to help you, especially on a rugby pitch. So I was like, okay, how can I get everything I need in a meal into a cup? And I started experimenting and I started coming up with a lot of really nasty smoothies. Grass clippings and concrete. They were healthy, but they could barely shut them down. But the beauty of being 22 and wanting to start something yourself is everybody will talk to you. And I wasn't shy about it. I would talk to anybody in the industry. I would talk to food scientists or dietitians or anybody that could give me any kind of knowledge on how to make basically this ultimate smoothie. And after a bunch of iterations later, I finally came up with the first blend, which was the oatmeal raisin cookie with a banana. It's called the OG on the menu today. And it was as close as I could get to that flavor as possible while still being healthy, right? And it worked. I ended up being an SEC All-American my senior year, and I realized that there was a market for this kind of thing because the world cares about how they look, but more importantly, they care about how they feel. And if I could create something that was fast, easy, efficient, it tasted like it was bad for you, but it was good for you, then we can help the world eat healthier, right? So, armed with my big idea, moved back to Northern Kentucky. I went to Simon Kitten, grew up in Independence, and was looking at Florence. And I go to Banks, and I say, hey, I've got this big idea. Smoothies haven't really changed in 100 years. They've always been sugar, fruits, water, and ice. And I've got a way to change all that. And they were like, cool, we don't care, get out. I'm 22, I don't want any family money, I don't want any collateral. They're just like, good idea, kid, you're starting another restaurant, haven't seen one of those before. So it's like, good luck and do your thing. So without a lot of options, I did what I don't recommend any want-to-be entrepreneur to do, is I went and maxed out 8 entry-level credit cards. I worked at Amazon at night. And during the day, I built the first Better Blend with my family because my dad's a master carpenter. He does all that kind of stuff. And he still had his day job. But in those gaps, we would go and we would build the first Better Blend, which is in Florence, Kentucky, still today. And looking back, and I don't really speak much on this, and I'll kind of have little sidebars as I go through the story. I really disliked the build of it because it was so heavy. And it was so I just graduated college. And I'm still young and dumb. And I was going into it and it was like, oh, now every waking moment is like getting this thing to open. Because all of my credit cards that I opened were like a 12-month APR or 0% APR. So once that 12 months hit, it was like, you're bankrupt at 22 years old, unless you make this work. So that period was really hard. But looking back on it, it was one of the most rewarding and greatest moments of my career and of my life. So fast forward a little bit to June 22nd, 2018. That's when we opened the first Better Blend on Mall Road. And it really just hit the ground running. We had a really, really good response from the community. It was around the same time I met Julie and Paula. They welcomed me with open arms. And I was just getting the ropes of all of this business things, the connections things, and what to do and what not to do. Somehow we figured it out for the first year and a half. And we were like, okay, we've got something going here, right? We figured out that we can work in a suburban market. Let's go see if we can do metropolitan, right? Downtown Cincinnati. So we go and sign a lease, January 28th, 2020, month and a half, pandemic hits. And we sign the lease, we're ready to go. And the pandemic hits and we go to our landlord and we're like, hey, like national pandemic, let us out of our lease. And he's like, no. We have to do the whole thing all over again. Where now I'm running store one while building store two, and all the profits we were making from store one are now going into store two, and it's getting really thin. I remember when we opened, because we did downtown the same way we did Florence, like we built it. Instead of working at Amazon at night, I was working at Better Building during the day and building at night. So I remember one Sunday after we opened, we didn't see a single person come in. And like, that was the shaking to the core of like, oh, we run really messed up here. But instead of kind of throwing in the towel, we just pivoted to what can we do to bring this to our customers, because everybody was afraid. Everybody didn't really know what to do, but everybody still wanted good food at some capacity and they still wanted to eat healthy. I think that's kind of grown since that point. So I was like, how can we get this to them? So we started prototyping our blend boxes, what we call them now. I don't know what we called it back then. It was basically we bagged up our smoothies that you can make them at home. Started beta testing that. We started doing delivery and takeout. We didn't do that prior to COVID. And it worked. We ended up getting really, really lean. And the other thing I did on the other side of the business is I tried to bring everything down to as few steps as possible to make a blender a bowl. Like you might have noticed when you were getting your bowls from the van, how fast everything was. Like if we didn't have cold fingers, we'd have been even faster. But I was inspired by Kona Ice and how fast they could get a shaved ice out. And I was like, if we can compete with Kona, but we can offer all the nutritional benefits that Better Blend does, then we can really do something in events. And I had that same mindset and that same like simplicity, getting things down to one in everything about my business. And COVID really kind of struck that chord and made us have to adapt that way. So fast forward a year, really, really getting thin. And the problem with 2020 for me in hindsight, and I don't really ever talk about this either, is we actually made a little bit more money in 2020 than we did in 2019. So we didn't get any of the grants that the other restaurants did because we didn't lose money. And it's because we worked so hard to pivot to make sure we survived. We didn't get that. Those grants were amazing. I'm glad the restaurants that got them. I mean, like our PPP was like, it covered one payroll. And it was like, it's fine. It is what it was. And I don't look back and regret any of it because it kind of perpetuated like the growth and making things more efficient for the brand anyway. But didn't have any money going to store three. Store three is in Clifton. So we've got our suburban area, we've got our downtown Cincinnati area, we've got our college campus. We want to see which one works best, right? This is before we have all the fancy algorithms and stuff we have now. We just wanted to guerrilla test this. And this was an existing restaurant. It was a donut shop. And we were like, we could come in and basically slap some lipstick on this thing and open. That's what we did. And it worked. We opened up in Clifton at the end of, or middle of 2021. And I was like, okay, big deep breath. I can keep doing this for the next 50 years and I can open one Better Blend for 50 years. And we can have 50 Better Blends and that would be great. Or I can bring in a bunch of like-minded people like myself and try to help as many people as possible. Because at this point, we were getting a lot of testimonials and messages and emails from people that are like, excuse me, I've got this condition or this thing going on or this dietary whatever. And you guys have really helped me get from A to B. Like, this is my journey. This is what I've been trying to do. I've been stuck everywhere else, but Better Blend's kind of been my way of liberation from that. And for me, I felt like I had a responsibility to kind of touch every corner in the world that I did. So I started asking a lot of questions again. It's kind of my thing, just people that are smarter than myself. And I was like, should I franchise? And everyone was like, no, don't franchise. Like, I don't know if you guys ever met Rich Grader. He's the CEO of Graders, but he's like, franchising is the worst thing in the world. So I'm getting all these things that are like, don't franchise, because there are a lot of risks to franchising. But I really didn't see another way of growing forward. Kind of taking things back to 2018 when I was looking for funding, like, there's no real way to grow this because I can't build these locations by hand year after year like I have been doing. And if we want to grow this thing and help these people as quickly as possible, this is the only way to do it. So we started franchising in 2022. We sold out Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville, Dayton. We just sold Tampa down in Florida. And we're starting to grow out from there. And it has been an amazing wild ride. And a lot of people ask me like, why'd you go from Cincinnati to Tampa? Not a lot of people know this either, but we share supplies with Skyline, which might sound weird because we have totally different stuff. We have a co-op. It's us, Skyline, First Watch, Red Robin, Graders, Barleycorns, basically all these brands. We all came together and we were like, we can't get the prices we want based on our own individual buying power. So we're all going to come together. We're going to go to these suppliers and we're going to say, hey, we have $150 million worth of buying power now. Give us the price. But in order to maintain that relationship, we have to be within 300 miles of a Skyline. Tampa has 4 Skylines. That's why we targeted Tampa, is because the Skylines that are here and the Skylines that are there, basically. And then as we grow, we'd like to go like this, because the hardest part about franchising, just candidly, is no one knows who you are. Like I love that you guys have all at least heard about Better Blend or tried it, but when you go even like 30 minutes north, 30 minutes west, whatever, it goes from brand awareness of like 70% down to like 2%. And that's hard when you're growing a brand, because the hardest part about doing anything, especially doing something new and a little weird, like we do things a little weirder than another smoothie place might, a little harder to understand and take that extra level to understand what you're eating, why it's helpful and all that kind of stuff. It takes a while to kind of get that ramp up to go. So our strategy is to grow like this. And our strategy right now is 300 miles around Cincinnati. That includes Nashville, Indianapolis, Columbus. That's what we're looking at right now. 300 miles around Tampa, which includes Sarasota, Clearwater, Orlando. And I think there's a Skyline in Fort Lauderdale, which is like, yeah, there's like one. So technically we also have that radius to hit as well. We love Florida because we don't have weather days like these. But from a sales perspective, and I remember we have one franchisee who's like the biggest Christmas guy in the world. And I'm like, I love Christmas too, but own a smoothie shop for 2 years, you're going to hate the winter. Everything about it. It's just, no one wants something cold when it's super cold outside. It's like, trust me, as much as holly jolly as you are, it's gonna hurt a little bit a few years into owning a Better Blend. So, so basically that has been our strategy up until now. And then I'll tell the story of the vans, the Blendmobiles that you saw today, because actually that story kind of concludes this afternoon, right after this. So last April, Mercedes came to us and they were like, hey, have you guys ever thought about doing food trucks? And I was like, I mean, at the end of every year, I think about offsetting taxes in some way. And I've always looked at food trucks, but I couldn't find any that were worth a crap for under like $150,000. And they were like, well, we've got a bunch of vans that we think you guys could use. And I'm like, I can't afford your vans. And they were like, well, hear us out. We had a private equity company that was a private chef company, okay? And they built 180 of these vans, the vans that you saw out there. And they were retrofitted for private chef use. And in 2022, basically, they went bankrupt. And Mercedes was left holding the note. So they were like, we basically have all these vans on our inventory, we gotta get rid of them. And they're like, we'll give them to you for half off. Wow. So these vans were all like 80,000 and we're like, we'll take 11 of them. They're basically ready to go. So we went to our franchisees, we bought 4 in July. And then that last little bit of food truck season from like end of July, August, September, it was so great. Not only was it great from like an event standpoint, but you were able to introduce so many people to the brand that wouldn't have known otherwise. So after that happened, everybody else bought a van. And there's basically 5 left in the entire country. And that's where I'm going after this, is trying to get that deal for us. And so now we have the 18 locations, we have 11 food trucks. And really the whole goal here is just try to touch as many corners of the earth as we can, just try to help as many people as possible. And I do a lot of speeches like this. I'm usually talking to colleges, because I remember being in college, I didn't have a lot of resources from somebody telling me that they hear me and understand the lostness that I am and don't know where to go. And everybody's a little afraid of that next step, right? So I like to be a little vulnerable to tell them really 2 things. And the first one is, I think a lot of entrepreneurs get into this game because they want to make a lot of money or they want to see their name in the lights. And I always like to talk to wannabe entrepreneurs really quickly and early in their process to be like, that's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. And all of that stuff is smoke and mirrors. And kind of as I've progressed in my journey, I've had to figure out what really matters, right? I think we all grow as our years go on, and when you're in the position I am, really anybody from a growing up standpoint, you get to understand what really matters. And for me early, I knew that I just wanted to help as many people as I could, and Better Blend just happened to be the vehicle to do so. And as things got better and I wasn't struggling or scraping for dollars at the bottom of the barrel and new opportunities start to come to me, you start to reevaluate where you are. And for me, it really hit me last year. We had a private equity company come to us and they were like, we'll give you this many millions now, and in 5 years you'll exit with this many millions. And I thought about it for about a day. And I was like, what would I do with that? I was like, margaritas on the beach is cool for about a week, right? But then you want to do something, provide some kind of value. And then I thought about 95-year-old Isaac. And I was like, if I'm 95 one day, and let's say I'm a billionaire, I know that 95-year-old Isaac would give up all that money to be 30 again and sit around the kitchen table talking to my parents about Better Blend and like work in a food truck event in the middle of summer. So if I'm already as rich as I'm ever going to be, why would I sell to lose that? And I think that it makes it easy for when things get hard, and it reminds me every day when I wake up of like, I do this because I love it. And I do this because what fills my bucket, nothing else will fill. And I'm able to touch and impact and help as many people as possible through this thing that I'm doing. And you kind of get that Ferris Bueller thing where it's like, if you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you miss it. You really have to consciously bring yourself into that moment. And for me, it's only been a few times where I really just get to sit and be like, yeah, I really, like, heck yeah, I did that thing. And a few of those moments are when I get all my employees together and they're all in a big room, and I get to just sit up here and I just be like, all of these people now have inroads into their life with core memories of people that they never would have met. And all it took was a little bit of effort from me in order to create that for them. And you can really expound that effort into everything, into our customers, into our franchisees, definitely into our employees, where it's like, it only takes a little bit of effort, being a good person, doing things right, don't cut corners, and you can impact a ton of lives, even the ones you don't even see. And I guess that's kind of my encouraging word when I go and talk to students is, you don't know where your ripples go, basically. And how you do anything is how you do everything. So make sure that you're always treating people well, with love, welcomeness, just basically the same way you want to be treated. And one day you're going to wake up in a world that's just better. At least wake up in an atmosphere that's better. And I don't know if you guys have been to the Better Blend, specifically in Florence, but like, you might have noticed that the employees actually like what they do, right? And it's an intentional training that we do. And it's not in the sense of like, we're finding perfect people. I will basically bring somebody into our culture and into our system, and I'll be like, listen, we are humans. And from the base core level of us, we want to make a difference, right? We all want to leave our indelible mark on the world. And in this place, while you're here, it only takes a little bit of effort to have a huge outsized return. Because I can't tell you the hundreds of emails and messages I've gotten of, the messages you write on the cups. There are so many people that have gotten messages that have completely changed whatever they've been going through. I remember we got a message recently. This girl was going through something horrible, and I won't go into details what she was going through. It was like, basically, she adopted the mantra of, I can do hard things, right? And on the cups that we write on Better Blend, it's just little inspirational things. We're just trying to basically catch that one right person that needed to see that message. So again, it's a little bit of effort to make an outsized difference. And this girl left this amazing letter, and it was basically like, I can't believe that you guys wrote this on my cup. I can't believe this is the cup I got. This is what I was going through. These were all the hard things I was doing. And she was like, when I come to Better Blend, I feel heard. And that was kind of our mantra of like, just make everybody feel like they're the only person in the room. And at the end of the day, not only is it great for a brand and great for repeat customers or all those metrics or whatever, but you're going to wake up in 10 days, 14 days, 30 days of being in this atmosphere. You're going to be like, this is the place I want to be. And it's like, because when you do things, other people see things, and you just kind of share that energy and that atmosphere, everybody feeds off each other. And you don't even realize it. And one day it's like, this is a great environment. How did we get here? And it's like, it's all the little things that got there. And then kind of my last thing before I open up to questions, and I'm kind of an open book, so you guys can answer. But my lesson I give to young people is everybody's so afraid because everybody thinks that they're looking at them. And everybody's so afraid to fail because they're like, they catastrophize everything, right? Like, you remember the first time you slipped and fell in 4th grade? Or imagine the most embarrassing thing you did in elementary school, right? And you probably thought in that time that the whole world was looking at you and your life was over. And now you haven't even thought about it, so I just brought it up, right? You can do that for every situation. Like, how many of you know about any of the catastrophic failures Better Ones had in the last 8 years? Right? But when I was in that moment, it felt like the whole world was watching. And that's kind of that's my lesson, especially to young people. It's like, nobody's watching. Everybody's so wrapped up in their own stuff. And even if you misstep or screw up or whatever, people may look at you because it distracts them from their own crap pile. But in 5 minutes, they're going to go right back to their own thing. And I'm like, in 300 years, no one's going to think about your missteps anyway. I was like, in 90 years, you won't even think about them today. Right? And then I'll be like, I'll do you one better. Tomorrow, you won't even think about it. And that's the thing, is like, when you get to make the rules about what you want to do, then you get to truly do what it is you're meant to do. And as long as your North Star, and as long as your just cause is right, then you can do whatever you want. And I think that's a really liberating and freeing thing for young people to hear, is like, I can do whatever I want in this world, and I should at least go for it. Because even if I fail, it's a lot better than being 95-year-old Isaac and be like, oh, I could have been. And that's my story. Do I field questions? Let's do it.
So how's the franchising thing going?
It's great. So there's so a lot of people don't understand what franchising is, so I always use this analogy. And then I kind of segue into the second part. Franchising is like, I'm Roger Goodell, and I've created the National Football League. And I'm basically selling teams. And I have the rules for what the NFL is, and the rules of how to run a better one, but it's up for you to succeed. It's up for you to sell butts and seats. It's up for you to hire the right general manager. It's up for you to get the right quarterback and have the great customer experience. And it's like, these things are up to you. And you can win the Super Bowl. You can be the most successful location we have, but you got to play within the rules. And the second part of this, and I'm not speaking about any of our Northern Kentucky franchisees because they are sensational. I've actually been really blessed with the franchisees that we've gotten. But kind of our first batch of franchisees back in the day, and one of them isn't a franchisee anymore, and this is kind of the one I'm speaking of, is what you get when people are franchises. You get a lot of very successful people, right? You've usually amassed some amount of money. And they're like, I don't like what I do. I want to do something else. And they're like, Better Blend looks like something I would want to do. So they come into Better Blend, and they're very successful in bucket A, and now they're in bucket B, which is Better Blend. And they suck at it. Because when you do anything new, you're going to suck at it. That's just the way that it is. But their ego from here doesn't let them suck here. So there's always a friction point of like, I need someone to blame. And I'm like, no, it's just the game. Like, it's just going to suck for a little bit because you're new at it. And it should be hard, because if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it.
Right.
And I think recognizing that stuff early has been a big plus, because I kind of call it a rookie season of franchisees back in 2023. They were learning alongside with me. And now that we're kind of into our senior season, I guess, I know all those roadblocks and I can kind of sway them away, but I wouldn't go back and change any of it. It's been really, really good. Yeah. What else you guys got? Yeah.
It doesn't sound like, but do you have any regrets whatsoever? And part two, what's your new favorite warm bowl, oat bowl?
The strawberries and cream. I'm a fruit guy, so like I'll answer the second one first. So like we have a lot of really delicious dessert flavors, but I have to add a fruit to it. It's just the way that I am. Like our Dubai chocolate is great, but I have to add strawberries to it. It's just the way that I'm wired. So I have to have a little bit of fruit in my savoriness. So that would be my answer for that one. And then from a regret standpoint, I think the only people that can probably relate to this are you all, because I hired my friends when I first started. And kind of a year into hiring your friends, I started to see some success, but I didn't have enough money to not pay them $13 an hour. So there was a friction point there as well. And then it's like, these are your buddies that you've hung out with your whole life. And now like paths start to diverge, which is tough. And there's also egos and personalities there. And there was a lot of falling out in a certain period of my kind of beginning of career that I wish I would have known before. So yeah, and there's little regrets along the way, but I don't know if I would go back and like change alter courses anywhere. Probably would have taken a few months off in 2020 so I can get some grants. But other than that, no, it's a good question.
I have a quick-
Yeah.
I was like, what was your degree? What did you graduate? What was your degree in?
Business management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you used artificial intelligence in your business?
Yeah. So using a lot now, and we're building an agent. It'll take a while, but one of the hardest things about Better Blend is there's two sides to a restaurant. It's the in-store and the delivery stuff that happens in it, and then there's catering business. And our downtown location kills with catering. Like we do all the Reds, we do the Bengals, we do FC, we get all the big businesses there. But other locations that Better Blend hasn't really been able to replicate that success. And the reason I have those relationships is because I knocked on their doors and shook their hands, right? It took a while to get there. But I can't really like give somebody that playbook. It's like, go grind for 3 years to catering first, right? I need something faster. So we're trying to come up with something that will scrape within a geofence the names and emails and phone numbers of people in an area that we can reach out to and offer them catering. Other than that, I do a lot of research, deep research through AI. I created a AI Isaac that helps me make decisions. It just has a bunch of prompts into it. So there are different things that I use it for, but it's growing a little bit every week. Yeah, good question.
I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
Did you hire a business coach?
No, so I didn't. I've had a lot of great mentors and a lot of great people I've met with. Again, I'm a question asker. There's no pride in my game. Like I will ask you and I will look dumb. I don't care because like I have an end goal and I have a mountain I want to climb and I don't care if you think I look dumb while I do it because I'm going to climb the mountain. So there are a lot of people like I'll get stuck on a point. I'm like, who can answer this question for me? And I'll just reach out. And the other beautiful thing about AI or just the information age that we live in is those answers are out there somewhere if you know how to ask the question. I think the closest thing I've done to a business coach is I've done a few business summits where I'll go and I'll listen to an entrepreneur that I watch or listen to and meet with them. No one-on-one business coach.
Another question I had is, how did you end up developing your app? Did you like what's behind the scenes look like in your marketing world? And behind the scenes of you?
Yeah, great idea or great question. So my sister is the CMO of our company, which is one of the most rewarding things about Better Blend in general is how I'm able to do that. And that's not nepotism. She's just really, really talented at what she does, which is just a blessing in itself. So she runs the design and the look of everything. And I have a really good grasp of marketing as well. So we kind of go hand in hand. The app came from, I think there's a lot of luck in business as well. Anybody says that they've made it anywhere and there's no luck in it is wrong. So we were using an app. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we had an app before Tap Mango. It kind of sucked. And we kept getting told that it sucked. And all of a sudden, sent me an email. It was a cold email. And they were like, hey, do you want a white labeled app basically? Your competitors using it, which I thought was a great open for a cold email. I was like, yes. I was like, sign me up. Let's do it. And it just happened to work out. And we've been using them ever since 2020, I believe. And we've kind of made changes and made things better. We actually have a new version of it coming out next week. But that was something that came to us. Luck. Love to take all the credit. And it was kind of templated. So they were like, we do this for restaurants. So it wasn't me going in and coding. It was like, here's what I'd love to see. Can you guys tweak this to make it happen? It's kind of it. What you guys got?
There's a skyline in Naples, Florida, if you need any help.
Be there.
Just happen to know that.
Is there a time or two short?
41 monthly, Tamiami Trail. Thank you very much. Hold on, thank you. And next week, remember to bring shoes. And we had the Chamber of Commerce will be here, so. Go out there and do some good work.
How's that?
What's next, guys? What's next in your vision? Every time I think there can't be anything else, you always surprise me with something. What are you looking at?
We gotta fill out the 300-mile radius first.
Okay.
So Indy, Columbus, Nashville, everything within there. And then we gotta do the same thing in Tampa, same thing in Florida. So we'll probably take over Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, and Florida will be our next kind of 4 takeovers.
Okay.
So sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, I am a volunteer for the Arboretum.
yeah,
And we're having our dogwood dash. It's the last weekend in April.
I'm like, yeah.
It's on Saturday. But we're gonna, we want to have a group of there. The Raiders is.
It is.
You know, but that's these guys are pretty.
and there's not really a conflict between us and graders. We do a bunch of things together. But yeah, yeah, different game, for sure. We're always open.
So.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Well, can I have the person who's in charge of that?
Where's my bag? I have my phone, for my number.
Yeah, between their rest hour, I'm freezing.
It's very enjoyable.
Oh, I think it. Thank you. Oh, great.
I'll give it to Amanda.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
My email is.
Well, that's exciting. Well, I do meet with them. Yeah.
Yes, I think they're
Run it out of-
phone tag.
That just says better.
Okay.
My.
Great job.
My husband.
That's right. It's how I built hospitals, it's how I built many things. I helped others. And you did a great job, I'm giving you honest, I love it.
Thank you, everything. It's, I feel like I need to
You'll be able to go.
what I'm doing in Oakland. Yeah.
Hi.
And maybe talk a
And
little
we'll really be in business.
bit. I'm in the industry association.
Thank you.
The faster and
So,
faster.
anyway,
So I wanted to.
health insurance.
No, hey, Katie, that's funny. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, all of it.
So,
You guys.
there's a phone call.
Yeah.
Sarah.
I did a job there, you know, because I knew somebody else that did that. So when I went to the interview, and we talked to the lady, she says,
Okay.
I need a salesman. She says, you're the guy that can communicate with people because I can't find the experienced people that want to communicate. They all want to do my stuff. So, yeah, that's basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sure, yeah, all of our
Yeah.
friends are.
Just
are,
they really need so much. But
Yeah, I run a little bit.
experience because
Now, but.
I'm always,
Take it up.
my printing business is always spiritual.
Okay, so I was.
So here I go into retail and it's like, man, this is a whole different world, you know? But I tell you what, I honestly enjoyed it a lot because it allowed me to speak to people I never would get to talk with. And I just had a good